Shortages walking through Walmart. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. So I'm going to show you in this video some filming inside my local Walmart of different areas of the store, not the entire store, just some areas where the shortages, I happen to notice where they were the worst. There were other areas, didn't get to film everything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about each area, and then I will cut to the store footage, and then I'll come back and forth explaining to you what I saw at my local Walmart. Yes, I know I don't like Walmart either, but the fact is, just like Amazon, a lot of us still shop there. So we have to take these kind of things into account, look at these kind of things. Because realistically, this is one of those areas that a lot of people shop, and is a good indicator, just kind of across the board, a general indicator of shortages. And it may just be in their supplier, I get it, stuff like that. There's caveats involved. But it's showing you what I've seen. There are definitely shortages. There are definitely a lot of little tricks in play. Like they move a lot of the stock to the front of the shelves to make it look like they're stocked. They'll put stuff in smaller areas so it doesn't take up areas. I'll show you some of that. And also, there'll just be less variety. There'll just be like, say for example, canned soups will look like it's full, but it'll be, say, 5 different kinds of soup instead of 8 or 10 different kinds of soups. So those are some of the things. And I didn't do extensive in-store filming because it's awkward, it's weird. I don't like doing that. What I did is I held my cell phone, I turned it on, and I set it on the side of the cart, and I just like rolled my cart down the aisle. So it's not perfect footage, and I didn't do pan and tilt enough to get like full coverage, but it's enough to get the point across. So the first thing I want to talk about is toilet paper. That's the first thing I'm going to show you, not because it's the most important thing, it's just where I happen to be starting. Toilet paper was low, but it was there. I mean, there were different brands that were lower than others, and that may have also been a supply issue. I don't know what brands, I didn't look close enough, but yes, it was low as expected. It's been that way for a long time. It ebbs and flows though. Right now I have seen, I don't know about shortages, but lower amounts of toilet paper. So let's cut to that section. Okay, as you saw, there were some shortages, or there was less toilet paper on the shelves. Some empty shelves, but there was still toilet paper there. Okay, next thing we're going to take a look at is the sports drink aisle. Usually it is in this store, it's a huge, almost an entire aisle. Very low, very spotty. There are things here and there you'll see in the video, but definitely short. Talking Powerade, Gatorade, things like that. I don't know what this is due to. I haven't had a chance to actually research why there be sports drink shortages. But I've noticed that a lot lately. This is the time I actually get a chance to film it. So let me cut to that and you will see. Okay, as you saw, not much on the shelf. If you put it all into one area, it may look like there was more, but spread out like it was, yeah, not much on the shelves as far as sports drinks, Powerade, Gatorade, those things. So what's the next thing I'm going to show you? I'm going to go through kind of the cheese area. And I wasn't looking at the block cheeses. I forget if they were, I don't think they were very low. But this was like the string cheese area, the snack, like the little, cut up portion cheeses, those kind of things. So we're going to take a look at that. It was low. It wasn't too bad, but it was definitely a little bit lower than normal. So cut to that. Okay, as you saw, they were there, but a little bit shorter. in the cheeses. And I haven't really noticed, well, I have over time, off and on, noticed shortages in the cheese areas. But pretty decent right now. So snack packs, you know those ones that have like the little things of like ham or turkey or chicken, the little crackers, some apples, those kind of things, like kids take to school. And it's not like the start of school, so there's no reason for it to be low for any other reason. You'll see footage here in a sec that shows it's very low. Here's another one. I don't know why necessarily there's different items that are lower in stock than others, because I don't know the whole story, but they were very low. So we'll cut to that. Okay, as you saw, there were some there, but not like normal. So the next thing we're going to talk about is juices. Juices were low, definitely. Talking about like, you know, grape juice, apple juice, pear, pineapple, whatever. I didn't specifically look and see if there was a certain kind, like it was just the apple juices that were low, just the grape juices. It pretty much looked across the board that things were spotty. You know, they were there, but, you know, very low compared to normal. Definitely not fully stocked. So we'll cut to the juices. Okay, as you saw, the juices were definitely low. So you saw that. Now we're going to go into flour. As you'll see by the footage, it looks like there's a decent amount of flour there. But let me tell you, flour used to be on the baking aisle and in this store. And it used to take up about 2 or 3 times the amount of the aisle that it currently is in. So there used to be, and it used to be fully stocked. And there was a really good selection of wheat flour, quick rising flour, white flour, unbleached flour, all these different kinds of flours. We used to have a very good selection, and it took up a very big area. And there were lots of different size options, from smaller bags to big, huge bags. As you'll see in the footage here, now it's crammed. It's on the next aisle over towards the front of the store. Doesn't matter direction, and it's crammed in between. I forget what it is. You'll see in the video what it's crammed in between in a much smaller area. So that's a trick that they can use to make it appear as if they're fully stocked. So stay tuned for the flour. Okay, it didn't look too bad, right? Okay, it didn't look too bad, but that's because it was crammed in a smaller area. And even in that area, it wasn't full. And a lot less wheat flour options. A lot less. I think there was 1 wheat flour option, maybe 2, I forget. But anyway, now let's move on to the Augustin Farms. You know, those freeze-dried foods in the number 10 can, sealed, long-term food storage, prepper food, basically, you know. It is very low. It has been very low for a long time, though. From what I've heard, it's also because their Augustin Farms and places like that, their supply chain coming into them is smaller. They have less stuff available to them. It's harder for them to get the products they need to produce their products. So that may be a choke point and affected by other factors. But the Augustin Farms long-term food storage, prepper foods, what I call them, was very low. So stay tuned and check that out. Okay, so what was there? There was like some of the freeze-dried fruits. They had there a couple here and there. And I forget what exactly, like a bucket of oats, I think maybe they had, in like one of those 72-hour buckets or something. They had a couple things, but not anywhere near the selection. None of the beef stroganoff, the fettuccine meals, none of those things were there. None of the hearty, calorically dense foods. It was just, the stuff left over was stuff that pretty much people don't buy a lot of anyway, even preppers. Like, you know, freeze-dried blueberries, apple slices, things like that. But anyway, let's move on to frozen meals. These were like the individual meals, like, you know, meals for one in the frozen section. Like Salisbury steak or pot pies, you know, things like that. The Hungry Man meals. And you'll see they were very low. They were still there. They weren't gone. It wasn't gone, but they were spotty here and there. Okay, so we saw the frozen meals low. Next would be veggies, frozen veggies. And like this part of the video, I actually talked during the video. So as I will say, you'll see. Just stay tuned for the frozen veggie section. Alright, this is the veggie section. Last time I was here, it wasn't stocked at all. So they did restock that. Looking good. Okay, like I said, frozen veggies have been fully restocked. They're looking good, so that's good. They were wiped the other day. Next, I will show you bread. Bread was really low. I didn't show you both sides, but the side I didn't show had a little bit more on the shelves, but not much. The bagels and English muffins were that area, and the specialty breads were a little lower, but also just some of the regular breads. So you'll see footage here in just a sec on the bread aisle. Okay, so bread aisle is very low. Still available, there was still bread, you could still find stuff, so it wasn't like you couldn't get it, but lower. Okay, moving on to fresh fruit and fresh veggies. You know, the fruits and veggies section, front of the store, for us, right when you walk in on the right. You know, apples, oranges, stuff like that, all your fruits and vegetables, your fresh stuff, not frozen or canned. You will see the fresh vegetables or fresh fruits wiped out. I mean, on the other side of the aisle, I think there was a little bit more there, but I mean, we live in Washington. Apples, big time, here, grown here. A lot of fruit is grown in eastern Washington, central and eastern Washington. So, but those were still wiped out. And then as I move on, I'll kind of pan around to the fresh vegetable section. Fresh vegetables look good. No problems there, so stay tuned for that. Okay, let's put a wrap up on this. So all in all, there were quite a few shortages. There were shortages in other areas also that I didn't necessarily film just because there's a lot of people around and or store workers, you know, stuff like that. It felt awkward. Don't really like doing that kind of stuff in public. I don't know how people do it when they put a camera on a selfie stick and walk around stores. I would feel really weird doing that. But I wanted to give you an update of what I see real world out there in the stores. And that's just one example. Walmart, one of my local Walmarts. So, be aware of this kind of stuff. Keep your head on a swivel. If you start noticing things, get your supplies. But, you know, we don't go out and just buy everything. We're proactive, not reactive. So just keep on going, doing your thing, getting your food storage, setting it aside, getting all your stuff ready, preparing yourself and your family. Please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, share the videos. Hit the like button, ring the notification bell, you know, all the things you can do to help out the channel. I'll be very appreciated. Thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are awesome, awesome, awesome. Good community, good people. Love you guys. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Blessings to you and yours.